Given by Pastor Anthony Williams of Grays Mission Baptist Church. Pastor, welcome, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Let us humble our hearts. Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, we come tonight as humble as we know how, thanking you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. And, oh God, as we come tonight, we just want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity that you have given us to come together and to share. We pray tonight that you would bless and guide this great city council, that they will be able to make tough decisions on behalf of the citizens and all of the citizens of Norfolk, Virginia. We pray tonight that you would bless the families of those members of our city council, those who have supported them, so they would have an opportunity to come to share in such an occasion such as this. Oh God, we thank you tonight for all that you have done for us and all that you have provided. And then, God, when traveling days are over, when we are finished with all that you have assigned to our hands, oh God, provide for us a resting place. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming down. I understand you're familiar with one of the members of the council.
Yes, I am.
And you happen to be the brother of Councilwoman Angela Williams.
Absolutely.
Don't be a stranger. Come back soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure, thank you. Okay, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Mr. Burford? Here. Mr. Protogiru?
Here.
Mr. Riddick?
Here.
Dr. Whibley?
Here.
Williams?
Here.
Mr. Wynn?
Here.
Mr. Frame?
Here, the motion is to excuse Mr. Smeagol, please.
Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn? Mr. Frame?
The clerk will please read the resolution for the closed meeting.
A resolution certifying a closed meeting of the Council of the City of Norfolk held in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Adopt the resolution. Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
The motion is to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru? Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Norfolk City Council chambers. We're glad to have you here. For your benefit, the process that we will follow this evening is the first thing we're going to do is take up public hearings, which are on our docket. I think there are 7 of them. Actually, one of them is a little different because it is it comes to us for the city's consideration for a certificate of appropriateness. There are 7 public hearings. Following that, we'll move directly to the consent agenda. There are 4 items there. Those are fairly perfunctory matters. The council, in fact, may vote on all of those matters in one vote. At the conclusion of the consent agenda, we will move directly to the regular agenda. And there are 14 matters there, and we have some appointments to some city council boards, which will be a 15th or 15. At the conclusion of the regular agenda, if any member of the public would like to address the city council on a non-agenda item, that's something that's not on our printed docket, you'll be given that opportunity. But in order to have your name called, you must first sign a slip of paper, which the clerk is made available in the lobby behind the council chambers before the meeting began. Before we begin the formal agenda, though, we do have one really special ceremonial matter. We have some special guests with us this evening. We are pleased to welcome a delegation from our newest sister city, from Kochi, India, is with us. They arrived Sunday, and I know they were here yesterday and spent a good deal of the day learning all about Norfolk. So we are honored to have our friends from India and from our sister city to be with us. The group is led by Commander, and I hope I get this name right, Josman Joran. Commander, would you please? And I also, the Sister City Association President Janice Weisberg is here as well. So Janice, would you like to come up? Maybe you can introduce the group, and we are glad to hear from you. Okay.
This is a very special group. Let me introduce Mr. Joy Jacob.
You have to speak into the microphone here
Oh,
for us, okay?
I'm sorry, Mr. Joy Jacob.
Right, thank you.
Would you
Welcome.
like come here too, please? And Dr. Devakar and Mrs. Devakar. These guests are from our sister city in Kochi, India, which is Norfolk's 8th sister city. And I'm going to leave the podium because they would like to say something.
And do we have another guest?
No, Elizabeth is with our sister
Okay.
city.
The budget director, who is the budget director from Kochi? Who was with us? Is there a, oh, that's right, you're from Kochi, that's how we got that, okay.
Okay.
All right, now I got
We have our sister city chair, Manfred Schwartz, and his assistant, Ann
Manfred,
Ford.
how many sister cities groups do you chair now?
Just
this
one.
one? Okay, you gave up the other one.
Just one. So, if you excuse me, they're gonna.
We, the delegates from Cochin, we bring greetings to you from the mayor of Cochin and the people of Cochin. Kochi is known as the Queen of the Arabian Sea, and the state in which Kochi is situated is called Kerala. It's on the southern tip of India, and Kerala is known as God's own country. It's a place of tourism, and we have a lot of similarities between Cochin and Norfolk. We are immensely privileged to be associated with Norfolk, and in the days to come, and we are sure we will have a lot of activities. On behalf of the mayor, may I take this opportunity to present a plaque from the people of Kochi to worshipful mayor, Mr. Frame.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, and please extend our appreciation to the mayor of Kochi as well for this wonderful plaque. And we know you're being well taken care of. And we appreciate, we place a lot of value in our sister city relationships. We were one of the first cities in the country, actually, to establish a sister city some 54, 55 years ago in Japan, actually. And now we have a number of sister cities, and we find it to be a great way to learn about people from other countries as well, but also about our cultural, the common bonds, but also our differences, and in a way to better appreciate the diversity in this world. So thank you. We appreciate you being here. We have some special gifts here, and would you, Alan, want to help me? There you go. Sure, absolutely. Okay, everybody, we're going to crowd in here. Want the council, Andy, to come this way, please? Sorry, Paul. Okay, that's all right, guys. Thank you.
One more.
Okay, one more.
Don't move. Mr. Mayor, the significance of that plaque shows Norfolk and Kochi,
Right.
continents touching with the historic maritime boats.
Yes,
They're called snake boats.
snake boats.
Linking.
Yeah, I understand.
Did y'all ride the light rail?
Okay, well, thank you. This is really
We are writing.
very nicely, very well done. So
And-
thank you for coming.
and I'd
Maybe
like-
we'll get a chance to come see you someday. I understand you're having a dinner Friday night as well, and maybe Councilman Protegero is going to be there representing the city.
And we invite all of you to be our guests in Kochi.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, we rode the light rail here, and now we're riding it to dinner.
Great. Good job. Thank you for making that point. That was nice of you. Okay.
Thank you
All right, well, thank you. Please, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Janice. Okay. All right, we're going to take care of some business here, so please, you don't have to stand on formalities here. You can move on. There you go. Okay, public hearing one, please.
Public hearing one scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 16, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted into the local press by the city clerk on the application of Gethsemane Community Fellowship Baptist Church to close, vacate, and discontinue a portion of Drain Street. And by a 4-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Right, and there's no one here who has signed up to address the council on this matter. There are no questions, and the clerk will call the roll.
I have an ordinance closing, vacating, and discontinuing a portion of Drain Street and authorizing the conveyance to the abutting property owner of any interest the city may have in underlying fee of said portion of Drain Street. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru? Aye. Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 2, please.
Public hearing 2 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 16, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of Chow Bambino LLC to grant a certificate of appropriateness for a mural on property located at 425 Monticello Avenue, and by a 5-1 vote, Planning Commission recommends denial.
All right, this hearing is to determine whether a certificate of appropriateness should be granted. Procedure for this hearing will be as follows. A representative for the city may present a summary of the application and the proceedings before the Design Review Committee and the City Planning Commission. This presentation is not required, but if it is made, it should not last any more than 15 minutes. And next, the applicant for the certificate of appropriateness will present his or her case. Several people may participate, but the entire presentation should also last no longer than 15 minutes, or you may waive that if you want. And then each member of the public who is not related to or affiliated with the applicant and who has signed up to speak, and I think there's one person who's done that, on this item, will then be individually called. Each speaker may comment on the question of whether or not the application should be granted, and his or her comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Following any discussion or question by council members, a vote will be taken as to whether to grant or deny the certificate of appropriateness. Okay, and so to get the process started, I will ask the representative from the city, who I take it is the planning director, Mr. Duke, if he would like to make any statements.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be very brief, since I have previously briefed all members of council on the issues behind this request, or this appeal to overturn the denial of a certificate of appropriateness by the Planning Commission. This particular item is seeking to paint a mural on the side of the Montagna Building on Monticello Street downtown. The mural includes the skyline of the city of Norfolk, and what is proposed would be a large figure of Virtus, the Roman deity for virtue and valor, that is also the symbol on the flag and seal of the Commonwealth. When this item was presented to the Design Review Committee, they did unanimously vote to approve recommend approval of the certificate of appropriateness, finding that it was consistent with the design guidelines for the downtown historic overlay. When it was presented to the Planning Commission, as Mr. Daughtry has indicated, the Planning Commission denied it on a vote of 5-1. They indicated they thought the figure of Virtus was out of scale with the rest of the city. I will tell you from the administration's point of view, we do not agree with the Planning Commission. We felt that the symbol was appropriate because this is a deity, and deities are typically depicted in a much larger scale than the city as a whole, and therefore the recommendation of the administration would be to support the.
All right, thank you. All right, we have 3 folks who are here who have signed up to address the city council on behalf of the applicant. And I see Mr. Montagna headed this way, Charles Montagna. Mr. Montagna, and also John Montagna has signed up to speak as John Hickey. You have 15 minutes. You can take a portion of it. You can be.
I'm going to take very little or no time.
Okay, fine.
I agree with the cities. As has just been said, I think it is very appropriate to have Virtus on our mural.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But we do have the artist here if you had any questions of them.
I don't know that we do. All right, from the public, Dan Montague, please. I'm going to vote for it.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. Jones. My name is Dan Montague. I live at 4605 Crick Street here in the city of Norfolk. I've been knowing the law firm for about 20 years. They've taken real good care of me in the past, and that's our seal. And the thing about it is, if they want to put it on that building, I know it will be done in a classy way, and it can't do nothing but help the side of that building anyway.
Right.
So thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that concludes the list of speakers who have signed up to address the council on this matter. If there are no comments or questions, then the clerk will call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance to grant a certificate of appropriateness for a mural on property located at 425 Monticello Avenue. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
I think the only issue I have is that they picked a Roman god.
That's the only way it's getting through here, you know.
The name is Montaigne. For ethos, which is the appropriate equivalent, I would vote that it's, I vote for them and I say aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams? Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Okay. Tempest in a teapot, there ever was one. So thank you all for coming. Okay. All right, public hearing 3, please.
Public hearing 3 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 23, 2011. Under state law, public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk to hear comments on a lease agreement between the city and Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. for property located at 226 East Main Street.
All right, again, no one's here to address the council on this matter, so you can call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance approving a lease agreement between the city of Norfolk as landlord and Wells Fargo N.A. as tenant for the lease of that certain property owned by the city of Norfolk described as 226 East Main Street, Norfolk, Virginia, and authorizing the city manager to execute the lease agreement on behalf of the city. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, public hearing 4.
Public hearing 4 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 23, 2011. Under state law, public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk to hear comments to consider authorizing the issuance of a wastewater system revenue bond of up to $9,300,000 for the wastewater utility fund capital improvement program.
All right, again, no one signed up to address the council on this matter.
And I have an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale by the city of Norfolk, Virginia of a wastewater system revenue bond and a principal amount not to exceed $9,300,000 to finance wastewater system capital improvements. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, public hearing 5, please.
Public hearing 5 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 23, 2011. Under state law, public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of the city of Norfolk to change the zoning from R9 one-family district to conditional R11 moderate-density multiple-family district on property located at 2709 through 2721 Stanhope Avenue. And by a 4-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
All right, call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance to rezone property located at 2709 to 2721 Stanhope Avenue from R9 to conditional R11. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 6.
Public hearing 6 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 23, 2011. Under state law, public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of the City Planning Commission to amend chapters 2, 6, 7, 17, and 25 of the zoning ordinance of the city of Norfolk, 1992, to modify provisions governing adult use establishments and for landscaping requirements abutting a residential zoning district. And by 4-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Call the roll, please.
I have an ordinance to amend and reordain sections 2-3, 6-3.3, 7-.3, 17-5.3, 17-8, 25-10, and Table 6-5 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk, 1992, in order to modify certain definitions and locational provisions relating to adult uses and amending buffer requirements. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, public hearing 7.
Public hearing 7 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on August 23, 2011. Under state law, public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk to hear comments to amend the fiscal year 2012 capital improvement plan to increase funding authorization for light rail construction.
All right, we have 5 members of the public who are signed up to address the council on this matter. All I ask is when I call your name, if you'll come to the podium, Identify yourself for the record by giving us your full name and your present home address, and then we would like you to limit your remarks to 3 minutes. But before I call anyone, maybe the manager would like to make a statement to the public on the necessity of this ordinance.
Sure. We actually had a presentation recently on the project, and as the project goes, basically a $338 million project had about $10 million in savings. With that, there are at least 3 additional opportunities for more savings, just additional savings as it relates to the project, additional cost savings between the city and the state, as well as there is still an audit going on with the VDOT. And all of those provide additional opportunities for savings for the city. I will say that this is just authority of $8 million for us. In other words, as the final bills start to come in, we didn't want to have a trickle effect that every 2 weeks we're coming in to council for approval. We are convinced that we're not going to be needing $8 million of authority. We believe that in some scenario we're down as low as 3 before we get to these additional pots of money that could be available to us. So again, this is just the authority for us to pay bills, even though there are still some savings opportunities, cost-sharing opportunities that are still on the table.
Right, and the city's goal from the beginning has been to hold at least the city purse, harmless because of the second round of cost overruns. So, having said that, we're glad, let me call the names. David Dwyer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Dwyer. My address is 7140 Granby Street, Norfolk. And I'm with the Norfolk chapter of the Hampton Roads Tea Party. And my main concern is why this additional money is needed for additional construction. We were told before that construction was over, for the 7.4 miles of rail that were already implemented. So the information you just gave me was somewhat helpful, except for whenever I hear the phrase of opportunity for savings, it reminds me of the person that goes shopping every day to buy a $50 item that's on sale for $25, and they go out and buy it every day, whether they need it or not, whether it's appropriate or not, because they're realizing $25 in savings. That's true, but after a while they go broke. And right now, this light rail is over $86 million over budget, and I'm not going to give you a lot of figures and facts and figures on it because that everybody's aware of it by now. They should be. It's been out there for months, but I just wanted to let everybody know that when the city first went searching for federal funding, the FTA rated the justification for this project. The justification rating was low to medium. And their justification rating reflects the project's relatively weak justification criteria that was presented to the FDA. Second, the mobility improvements rating was low. Third, the stability and reliability of operating finance plan rating was low. Now, the low operating finance plan rating reflects substantial reliance on a proposed local gas tax, which at that time was not yet adopted, and it's not going to be, and lack of an average operating surplus to fund the budget. The last rating was a capital finance plan rating, low. And the reason the FTA gave for that was because their rating reflected the uncertainty of proposed funding to construct the proposed project. Their overall project rating was not recommended, quote unquote, not recommended. Now, that was when it was going to include the rail out to Virginia Beach, to the pavilion. That didn't happen because of the citizen referendum at that time, Virginia Beach. Now, their not recommendation was based on the project's generally weak project justification criteria and the uncertainty regarding proposed funding to build and operate the project. And many of the citizens feel like this thing obtained the FTA funding, the federal funding, based on deception from HRT. And now in 2008, annual report, the FTA on the funding recommendations, it was noted that the sufficiency of the project's cost effectiveness is vulnerable to any increase in the project's cost estimate. We all know how it worked out. I just feel like, with more money going toward this project, I'm just wondering how many teachers, firemen, and policemen we must let go in order to light rail get this funding. How about our schools? They need additional funding. The school budget was recently cut by, I believe, if memory serves me, $16 million. Why not put some money toward that?
Thank you, Mr. Dyer.
Okay. And we're not opposed to urban rail where appropriate. We're just opposed to waste and deception.
Ellis James.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Jones. My name is Ellis W. James. I reside at 2021 Ken Lake Place here in the city of Norfolk. With all due respect to my friends in the Tea Party, this project has been overwhelmingly positively received by the public. The facts don't lie. Those of us who took the time to spend hours and days on the light rail from its inception had the opportunity to talk with the citizens. People came from Virginia Beach, and the first thing out of their mouths was, golly, when are we going to get it in Virginia Beach? And I reminded them that they had an opportunity coming up because there is a group in Virginia Beach working hard to extend the light rail. Students rode the light rail, scoping out how close they could get to TCC and the downtown area. Mothers brought their children, grandmothers brought their children, and I had the opportunity as I rode and handed out thank you cards from the Norfolk Environmental Commission, pointing out not only our appreciation for them supporting light rail, but also calling attention to the question of how light rail would help us diminish the greenhouse gas effects and also discussing the carbon footprint implications of this project. I was very impressed with the knowledge of and the enthusiasm of the public. And we're not talking about just 5 or 10 people. We're talking about thousands of people who came to join us from the very inception to ride the light rail. I hope that you will make this commitment, and I hope that we will continue to enjoy the success that is going to come from this project. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ellis. Rick James.
Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council, Mr. Jones. My name is Rick James. My address is 460 Peace Haven Drive in the city of Norfolk, Virginia. This city has a fiduciary responsibility to protect the citizens of Norfolk, current and future best interests. In terms of the light rail system, we can all agree that bridges and roads alone will not resolve our transportation ills today nor in the future. In support of the light rail, I would like to offer 3 things to consider. First, take advantage of every opportunity to get back dollars that citizens have paid to the state and the federal government that our taxpayers was sent to them. We should get those dollars back as much as possible. Second, ensure that the money is spent wisely in accordance with your fiduciary responsibilities. Remember, we only had one chance to make a first impression. And finally, build on your partnerships with neighboring cities and keep citizens informed of the benefits to them today and their children tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tom Ayers.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Tom Ayers. I live at 8804 Semmes Avenue in Norfolk, Virginia. The concept of light rail here is not the issue. The issue is fiscal responsibility of HRT. HRT has proven to be a poor performer in this area, all right? One of the things I've always learned is if you tolerate poor performance, you will get poor performance. And the best indicator of future performance is one's past performance. HRT has performed poorly in this area. HRT has given not only the city of Norfolk, it has given you, councilmen and women, a black eye, all right? Where we're going with this is we want some due diligence from HRT, all right? HRT should be performing, well, since we're paying out the final bills, I get that concept here. Batch them together, roll them up, approve them on a monthly basis. We're not at all good with giving HRT another $8 million blank check to just kind of sit on, all right? If they've got the bills, come in, batch them up once a month, present them. Present them for approval on a once-a-month basis, but just leaving it an open $8 million check, no. There's a tendency in government organizations, federal, state, wherever, you know, use or lose when it comes to a budget. Well, if we don't spend our budget money, we're not going to get it back in the budget next year. HRT, again, having been proven as a poor performer, we don't want to allow them to slide on that. Fiscal responsibility is what we're about here. So, vote no, if you would, to increase this funding to this $8 million block and make HRT come in and do it, batch it up on a monthly basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Philip Hawkins?
Good evening, Mayor Frame, members of City Council, City Manager. My name is Philip Hawkins, Jr. I'm a member of Ingleside community. I reside at 3597 Mississippi Avenue. And, of course, everyone knows my house is directly in front of light rail, so I do have a personal interest in all of the actions and business of light rail, but not only because I'm a resident directly in front of it, but also as a concerned citizen and a taxpayer. First of all, I would like to thank the City Council and the administration for expediting the process to approve our residential parking program recently with the opening of light rail that did assist us on the opening weekend and the extension of the week for free rides. We did have many members of the community coming in, turning around, driving, stopping, parking, so that did help alleviate the problem that we predicted would happen in our community. So thank you. Now, in terms of this request that's on the table, I agree with the previous speaker in the fact that we do need to be a little bit more resolved, or reserved rather, before we make a decision to just, as the other speaker said, hand over a blank check again to HRT. We do need to watch how those dollars are coming in and going out. We were under the impression that the construction phase was over. We are in the operations revenue stage of operations for light rail. So the communities, and my first knowing of this, I know it was printed in the newspaper recently, but that was on election day, primary day. There were so many things going on. I think we had an earthquake that day. I don't think anyone knew and was thinking about public hearing for light rail, $8 million more when we approved another request a few months earlier for more money for light rail. So with that understanding, I believe we do have a responsibility to make sure the public is clearly aware what these construction costs involve. And I think we do need to look at it incrementally instead of just having it wide open. I believe public safety is still is and should be the priority, the top priority for our light rail system. As we saw today, there was a situation that happened, and there were steps taken to help protect the public from any casualties or any problems that could result from some kind of disaster or problem. So with that understanding, we do need more money for continuance of maintenance with the light rail system. Also with the community involved, we need more signage around the light rail, especially in the community area. We have a problem with pedestrians. They don't really know how to interact with the light rail tracks when they're crossing. We see a lot of unsafe behaviors occurring right in front of the tracks and with pedestrians and cars as well. And also, as a school teacher with the public school system, I agree as well. We give money for light rail at the drop of a hat, but it's very difficult when we have to look at the budgets every year for our school system, and we have to struggle to save programs and people in our system. So I would ask that we would be more reserved before we make any final decisions. So I do not support just giving a blank check tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Okay, that concludes the list of folks who have signed up to address the council on this matter. Call the roll, okay.
I have an ordinance to amend and reordain sections 1 and 2 of ordinance number 44-242 entitled, an ordinance approving the capital improvement plan budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011 and ending June 30, 2012, appropriating $151,640,300 for certain projects approved therein, authorizing an issue of bonds in the amount of $72,656,473, authorizing the expenditure of $45,609,666 in cash, of which $1 million is appropriated from the Public Amenities Fund and $10 million is appropriated from funds reimbursed by another governmental entity, and the reappropriation of $33,374,161 of previously authorized but unissued bonds so as to establish funding for a project entitled Construct Light Rail in an amount not to exceed $8 million and to provide the funds therefore from the issuance of bonds. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Mr. Mayor, may I say something?
Sure.
And just to say, Mr. Hawkins, Mr. Ayers, Mr. Dyer, your words don't go just in thin air. What you have said is accepted, and I do believe that the manager, as he said, do agree with you and what all of you have said with regard to the financing. I went back and I pulled up the information we've received, and the estimated cost to complete is $318.5 million as determined by Hampton Roads Transit. The $8 million represents the worst-case scenario estimate needed to complete the project. However, additional funding sources up to $8 million may be obtained from state and federal partners. This is what we have received in preparation for coming here this evening. It's interesting in that when we go to our retreat Monday and Tuesday, one of the topics is the future of light rail. Where are we going? With that realization, knowing that hopefully we're not going to have to spend this money, and understanding that we are perhaps robbing from Peter to pay Paul. And we don't want to be in this position again, and I believe that you have a council who is fiscally examining the economy and looking at where the economy has been, where it is, and where it's going, affords us better opportunities as stewards of the finances to be able to make decisions in the future that we can hopefully foresee where the money's going and how it's spent. So please accept that. I'll vote for this with the understandings that we do have from the manager's office. But please understand that your words are heeded, and I do take them seriously. Thank you.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Yeah, and let me just add something too. We do appreciate you coming down here. I don't think I could argue with a single thing that's been said. We're all mad about this. You know, this council is disturbed that it's in this position. We have taken the position that we're going to seek to recover these dollars, any monies that are spent, from any number of sources that we can go to. This city agreed to pay for light rail, its share for light rail. We also agreed to be the bank of last resort, and that has put us in this position. That's the typical arrangement that the FTA requires localities to enter into before they will sign a full funding agreement with them. And so it's the same thing, for instance, that Governor Christie in New Jersey found himself up against with the tunnel under the Hudson River. He was called on to spend, he was into the billions of dollars in overruns there, and he finally pulled the trigger on that, stopped that. But, nobody likes this position. But, we have we entered into this agreement. We're going to live up to our commitments. Again, the manager is going to We do think it's a new day at HRT with new leadership over there. Even Mr. Riddick would agree that Mr. Chouquette has done a wonderful job of trying to bring this thing in at as low a cost as possible, and Paul has been over there trying to make sure it comes in for what I've called a soft landing, and everyone's working hard at this, and it's our pledge to you that we're going to continue to work hard to make sure that very few of these dollars are spent. And the manager, what we're going to look at in the retreat is, where can we go to maybe create some economies for this system that'll help us. So, in any event, we appreciate you coming down. We know you did it in the spirit of trying to give us your best advice, and we appreciate that. So, I vote aye. Okay, thank you. The consent agenda. There are 4 items here. Would any member of the council like to have either? Would you like to vote on any of these matters separately? Okay, call the roll.
Approve the consent agenda, Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R1.
R1 is an ordinance accepting the dedication of a 10-foot wide sidewalk easement connecting Curlew Drive and Corporate Boulevard by Riverside Corporate Center Owners Association, Inc. to the City of Norfolk, and authorizing the city manager to accept the deed of easement on behalf of the city. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R2.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 43958, accepting and appropriating $676,817 from the Virginia Department of Fire Programs for the Aid to Localities Program for fiscal year 2011. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R3.
An ordinance accepting and appropriating $631,661 from the Virginia Department of Fire Programs for the Aid to Localities Program. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R4.
An ordinance permitting Teresa C. Jerome to encroach into the right-of-way of Modoc Avenue at 9415 Chesapeake Street with a 4-foot-high open picket fence. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R5.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale by the City of Norfolk, Virginia of up to $100 million in general obligation refunding bonds to refund earlier bond issues of the City of Norfolk. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru. Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Frame.
Aye. R6.
An ordinance to schedule a city council meeting on Monday, September 19, 2011, at 9 a.m. and to move the location of said meeting. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R7.
An ordinance granting permission to SLNWC Office Company LLC to encroach into the rights-of-way of Monticello Avenue and Charlotte Street at 440 Monticello Avenue and approving the terms and conditions of the encroachment agreement. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru. Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R8.
An ordinance approving the terms of a right of entry agreement with Wells Fargo relative to certain property located at 236 East Main Street in the City of Norfolk.
It's 226, right?
Yes, sir, 226. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru. Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R9.
An ordinance granting a downtown development certificate to permit renovation of and the construction of an addition to an existing building located at 252 Bush and 130 Brook Avenue, and by a 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R10.
An ordinance to waive building permit fees for repair of certain structures damaged by Hurricane Irene. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru.
Aye.
Mr. Riddick.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Wynn.
Aye.
Mr. Frame.
Aye. R11.
A resolution ratifying a declaration of a state of local emergency made by the Director of Emergency Management for the City of Norfolk, Virginia pursuant to Virginia Code Section 44-146.21 due to the hazards and damages of Hurricane Irene. Adopt the resolution. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru? Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R12.
An ordinance permitting John B. Mayer and Madeline Mayer to encroach into city property at 2534 East Ocean View Avenue with a wooden walkway and stairs. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R13.
An ordinance authorizing the exchange of parcels of real property between the City of Norfolk and the MacArthur Memorial Foundation. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru? Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R14.
An ordinance to amend and reordain Article 2A of Chapter 24 of the Norfolk City Code 1979 so as to add Section 24-25.10 to provide for payment of business-related taxes as a prerequisite to issuance of a business license. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Is this what we were going to ask, continuous on?
No one's made the motion.
And what's the chance of making a motion? You didn't make the motion, Barclay?
I didn't know.
Dr. Whibley?
No, I didn't make the motion.
So you guys not going to make the motion?
I was not here for the discussion, frankly,
Okay.
this afternoon.
Ms. Williams?
I don't see the point in rushing to vote on it now.
I plan to support it, and, when it does come. So at this point, I don't know, as far as the motion is concerned, you got it, Dr. Whibley?
Manager Jones, I was told that this ordinance as written could not be enacted through the Commissioner of Revenue's office. Is there any part of that that's correct?
That's not my understanding from a legal perspective.
That the council has the authority to pass this ordinance as a legal matter. It's fairly simple. There's a state statute that permits localities to have this prohibition and requirement of currency and taxes before the issuance of the business license. So that is not an issue that you need to be concerned about.
So there's no issue that this would be an impediment for collection at the Commissioner's office, Revenue Office, that you're aware of?
Or the collection?
I got a message from the Commissioner that said that this ordinance as written would not be able to be enforced by her office.
It's not.
Is there any truth to that? I'm just asking. I have no.
I think Margaret needs to answer that. I mean, we all had some questions.
As a matter of law, this is simple, that the ordinance directs the commissioner to not issue a business license unless the treasurer certifies that the taxes are current. And so that the commissioner's function now is dependent upon the certification of the treasurer prior to the issuance of a business license. And so legally, that is a simple matter. Logistically, the office is working together on this communication, can probably be done in very many ways. I don't know the level to which they have got software or the ability to handle that communication electronically, or how it would have to be done. But that is outside of the ordinance and the implementation of it. So the ordinance is not addressing how the commissioner will ascertain whether the treasurer has certified that they're current.
Who initiated this ordinance?
We've been working on this for the last year and a half.
With the Commissioner of Revenue?
Yes, we've met with her. Well, we tried to meet with her with Mr. Pishko. We met with her with the administration, and we talked about this on a number of occasions. And
And you're not aware of any impediment to collection
we have
from the Commissioner of Revenue?
no. We took the language that other municipalities are using
Okay.
and applied it.
Vote aye.
Change anything.
All right.
Vote aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
I would just like to say, I don't like the way this has been handled, and I guess we should have spoke up earlier, and we did talk at length about it. But to vote it down would do more harm at this point, to enable the Treasurer's Office to set in motion these collection processes. But somehow the full story is not getting across here. And I hope that subsequent to our passing it, that all the people involved will get together and sit down and work, and so that they all understand what the other's doing, as well as our manager and his staff. So I think voting against it would be not a smart thing to do, but I'm not particularly happy with the way we got where we are. I vote aye.
Mr. Frame?
I know that, much like Barclay, I'd like to have peace in the valley all the time, but I know we have strong opinions down there in the Commissioner's office and in the Treasurer's office about this. I know they've tried to work with it. Earlier today, I asked the administration if they were going to recommend it, asked the city manager, and it comes with his recommendation. I know that the city attorney has told me that he's been involved in discussions. This is not something that has just popped up on this docket. And I think it does model what some of our sister cities are doing as well. If it's not working, we can always take that up at some other time in the future. So I'm going to vote aye.
That's all I have for the regular agenda, Mr. President. I have one additional item.
Okay.
And it's a resolution, numbered R15, and it is a resolution appointing or reappointing 21 persons to 6 boards and 2 commissions and 1 authority for certain terms. Adopt the resolution, Mr. Burford.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. There are 2 members of the public.